Allahu Akbar, Allah, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي عليه الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي عليه الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We begin always in by and with Allah name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. All the praise, the gratitude, and thanksgiving is due to Allah, the Lord and cherisher of the world. The praise is His, is part of His property. Whoever claims it is a thief, and He is not just the Lord of Israel. He's the Lord of all world, all systems of knowledge. Wherever we find them, it is His world. And as we always say, this world, this creation is still being discovered. We have not discovered the entire creation as of yet. It's still being observed. So when we discover something, the question is, how long was it there before you found it? We witness always, openly and publicly, of our free will, that there's nothing that deserves worship except Allah alone, without partners, without associates, without a family, without spouse or child, that He is one, single, unique, and alone. And we witness that Muhammad is first His servant, and secondly His messenger. The prayer and the peace be upon Him. We welcome everyone to this particular Jummah, not knowing whether it would be our last Jummah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, pray as though it is your last prayer. So we're grateful to make it to another Jummah, and we also know there were many people that went to Jummah last week. They're not here, and they didn't know that they wouldn't be here. So we thank Allah for our present, to being alive, physically being able to be here. We should never take that for granted. We ask Allah to accept our Jummah Salat, and that the information given in the khutbah, that it be useful and helpful to the community. And we ask Allah always to guide our heart, our mind, our words, our tongue, and bless us only to say what is needed. All the Muslims all over the world today, we recognize that we less than 1 month before Ramadan. Therefore, already we should have some type of spirit of excitement, loving it, can't wait, knowing we have to wait, because part of the discipline of Islam, we don't do anything just because we want to do it. We do it because we've been ordered it, do it because it's time. So we are excited. We hope everybody else is excited about this coming Ramadan. As you know, Ramadan is a pillar of Islam. The scholars usually say fasting, especially in the month of Ramadan, meaning that it's 1/5 of our foundation is Ramadan fasting. The Ramadan fasting is unique. You search all the different people who fast, and you will see that their fasting is not on the level of our fast. Or you will see great differences in what they call fasting. So we should take pride, be happy that we have something that is so unique and so different, no one else could compare anything with it. And as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, our salvation lies in us being odd, distinguished, and different. And our damnation lies with us being just like regular folks, the regular people. And we are not regular. We are believers. We should bear in mind for many people, not just a hand, but many people, this would be their first Ramadan. And all of us been there, done that. You can reflect upon your very first Ramadan. For some of us, this is our 55th Ramadan. But let us not forget about the people. This would be their first one. And I remember my first one, I had all kind of thoughts. Can I really make it 29 to 30 days? Never did it before, so that idea is there. Is it going to be easy? Is it going to be hard? Etc. But some of these people who are going to have their first Ramadan are going to be our children. Some of our children have reached the age not so much can experiment. It's now time for them to join the men folks and the women folks. Now it's an obligation. Sometimes when the children are small, they fast to 12 noon. They do 5 days in Ramadan because they're not obligated. But when it reached that point, obligation, it changed everything. And for some of our grandchildren, it's going to be the first Ramadan that they ever experience. And Imam Dawood and others who teach in the prison know the emphasis now in the prison is Ramadan. That's the federal prison. That's the state prison. That's the private prison. That's the county and city jail, and also the youth detention center. All of them is geared up, organizing who's going to fast. So it's bigger than many of us think it is. It's grand. It's real big. If you understand when something is coming your way, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If it's grand, not only are you excited, you do things in preparing for it. You know, if you got an uncle, you got a nephew, you got a niece, you haven't seen them for some time, and they tell you the date that they coming, it's a lots of things you will do because they coming. You normally wouldn't do it. Change the curtains, change the blanket. Down south we call it spring cleaning. This is the spirit we should have for Ramadan. Actually, your action is showing you preparing for it. You're not laid back in the cut. Oh, if it come, it come. If it don't, no. You are preparing for it. I think we ordered 60 cases of dates. They on the way. You can buy your dates through the masjid. Some of us, we already got our list out for the different halal meat that we're going to get for the iftar. So again, that's a sign that we're preparing for something. And the reading of the Quran, the reciting of the Quran, listening to the Quran, some of us already is getting in that groove because every day we're a little bit closer for Ramadan. It'll be here before you know it. And preparing even for the extra prayers in the masjid and in our privacy of our own home. So if you don't have the spirit of excitement, we will hope that you get it, because whether you like it or not, you can't stop it. Ramadan is on our way. And as we do here every year, we will leave that message on the voicemail after 11 p.m. saying the moon was sighted or it was not sighted. Because we try to do everything where we're doing it collectively in unity. And so I'll be going out as usual looking for the moon of Ramadan. And we should see the relationship between these 3 months that come in sequence. Rajab, we in Shaban, and then Ramadan. There's a connection there. And we should recognize that connection. This is the month that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to fast more than any other month other than Ramadan itself. And we do have groups of Muslims all over the world, many of them that fast every Monday. We got another group that just fasts on Thursday of every week. We got another group that fasts on Mondays and Thursdays. Then we have a group that fasts on the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. So that's a wonderful thing to do year round. So this is a strong sunnah, not just the fast in Ramadan, but Shaban, again, a lot of fasting took place in Shaban in the Prophet's life, the prayer and the peace be upon him. Dear Muslim, the Prophet Muhammad said, Rajab is the month of Allah. Shaban is the month of the Prophet. Peace and blessings be upon him. And Ramadan is the month of the believers. It's a month where we get a chance to realign our life. Most of us recognize that many things in our life is out of whack. And it's like getting a second chance or getting another chance to get it right. So we are already into that type of mindset. And we close this part of the khutbah with this dua, a simply dua. May Allah bless this Ramadan to be our best Ramadan. Oh Allah, we believe in you and we trust in you, and never ever do we seek a way against you. Oh Allah, guide us among those whom you have guided, preserve us among those whom you have preserved, befriend us among those whom you have befriended. Bless us with what is lawful, protect us from that is not lawful. Surely whoever you honor can never be disgraced. Oh Allah, give us good in this life right now, and give us good in the next life right later on, and save us from the torment of the fire. Ameen. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Glory be to Allah, the praise is his and always with him. There is no God except him alone, and he is bigger and greater and more important than anything else. For the second part of the khutbah, we want to talk on some things that I think most of us already know that we possibly have forgotten. And Allah mentioned in the Quran that man is a creature that forget. Those who came out to Fat Salat this morning, after our reading, we asked the question, suppose Allah only forgave us one time, we would still be in trouble. So Allah says he forgive us again and again and again. And we thank Allah for that, for giving us a second chance, another chance. And it says when Allah forgive you, it's as though you never did it. For people, we forgive you, but we remember. We don't forget. Want to talk, and whatever we talk about in the second part of the khutbah is always something relevant to our condition as a community. The dress code. Lots of us, we don't like that word. But Islam give us a dress code. Allah give us a dress code. And many times we don't understand it till we see children in a private school and they say they got a dress code. And then many brothers, we think the only one have a dress code is the sisters, that we are exempted from having a dress code. We have a dress code. And we need to get to that dress code, be on point with that dress code. So the dress code is for both male and female. And we know this is Jumu'ah Day. Some of us, we miss it. We say Jumu'ah Salat. But that Jumu'ah Salat takes place on Jumu'ah Day. The whole day is special. Whatever is special with Allah, whatever is special with His messenger should be special to us. We already got a dress code already. That's 7 days a week. But Friday, Jumu'ah, is a little bit different. The Quran teaches us to wear our best. Now, this is what it don't say, wear your worst. It say wear your best. And that's going to vary from person to person. But we should know what our best is. Our best can't be a t-shirt. That's your best. A muscle shirt. That's your best. We got to do better because we can do better with this dress code. We shouldn't wear nothing tight. That's both male and female. Some brothers think they can wear something tight, but the sister, she can't wear nothing tight. You can't wear nothing tight either. If you follow the dress code of Islam, if you're not making up your dress code, we can't wear nothing tight. See-through. Same thing for brothers. We can't wear something you can see through it. And again, all these things are very relevant to us, bringing us back on point when we deviate. A dress code. Some of us who came out of the church, and we was children in the church, and we know Mama told us, when you get through coming from the church, you take that suit off and put it back up, because that's your church suit. You don't play marbles and get on your knees in your church suit. We knew that. So Ramadan, it can only be special when we treat it as special. Other than that, it's just a regular day and just a regular service. It's not a regular service, and it's not a regular day. For the brothers only, we have to be careful of our shirt or our top, whatever you want to refer to it as, because we have to prostrate. We already know we got to get down on our knees. And we already know we coming to the masjid. And your backside shouldn't show when you prostrate. So whether you get a shirt that you can tuck it in or you wear it out, it got to be enough flexibility there that when you go down, that nobody see your backside. People don't like these kind of talk, but we family. And we got to get to real issues. You can't fake this, man. Or I'm going to hurt his feeling. I got brothers, I pull them in the restroom, young brothers. They wearing pants hanging out there behind. A brand new belt, it's not even buckled. And I have to pull them in the restroom. I said, brother, you can't go in there like that. I love you, but I can't let you go in there like that. Either we're going to lead the world or the world going to lead us. And in many cases, the world is leading us. We act like we don't have a book. We act like we don't have no sunnah. We don't have no guidance. We have guidance. And certain things we say, Certain things we see a style come out, Now here's a new style that's out if you don't notice it. Because some of you don't notice things when they change. I notice things when it shifts. Peter Pan tights. Men. I said, what is going on? What would make a man want? It was bad enough for the sister doing it. They got brothers too. Both of them wearing Peter Pan tights. I'm shopping in the grocery store, and look like the woman in the grocery store shopping, look like she's shopping in her underwear. I said, wait a minute. Either she crazy or I'm crazy. One of us crazy. You can't follow the world. We have a standard. We have a code. We got things we just don't do regardless to how popular it is. And I don't know, have you seen on the street a father and his son walking down the street, both of them pants hanging off. Both of them no belt. But it'll show you something. Children imitate their parents. So we can see easily right away, the best example for us is in the home with our mother and father. So we got to make sure father get it together, that the mother got it together. Because it's hard to institute something to your children and you yourself is guilty of not practicing. So we got to go back to the dress code. And the dress code is not to dress like an Arab. The dress code is not just to wear a thobe. It's moderation, decency. Do you know the typical Western conventional suit meet Islamic standards? I know some of you, you see a brother in a suit, you call him an Uncle Tom. So he ain't all the way with the dean. Tell me why. The suit come by where the knee is. I mean, what's wrong? You don't have to wear a suit, but he chose that that's going to be a standard for him. So when he make prayer, that his coat cover his behind. So it's very broad when we say modesty in Islamic dress code. It's not locked down to a country or a culture. So you do what's comfortable for you. And we know if we're guilty or we're not guilty. You buy your own clothes. Again, you can't buy these styles where the shirt stop right there at the waist. I mean, why would you buy a shirt like that? It stop right there at the waist. Don't go 1 inch below the waist at all. And then they sell you this feminine stuff. You're supposed to be a man. What man want pants and shirt with no pockets and they charge you more money? Charge you less money if you get some pockets. Charge you less money if you don't have no pocket. We don't carry a pocketbook. Where you going to put your items at? We got to have them pockets. If we are man, we got to have pockets to put our items. So we got to make an assessment, man. Are you letting the Western world influence you? Or are you letting the Quran and the Sunnah influence you? So again, we're going to be making 5 prayers till we die. 5 prayers till the day of judgment. So we have to get clothes that's appropriate. I'm not telling you what particular clothing, but get something that you're comfortable with and meet that Islamic dress code. Again, dear brothers and sisters, when we get off the mark, we have to get back on the mark. And we should never be in a state of denial. They say when you're in a state of denial, you had one mistake, now you have 2. Denying it, make it a second problem. I'd rather have 1 problem than to have 2 problems. And this world is teaching us not to talk to ourselves. That's not an Islamic thought. That's a good thought, to talk to yourself. I didn't say answer yourself. I say talk to yourself. To look in that mirror and say, man, I got to get me a haircut before Juma. To look at the eyes and see right here, you got these almost a full moon. I got to start getting in the bed. I got to get some rest. You done missed 2 prayers and the other 3 you made late. I got to do better than that. You know, if you make all your prayers late, pretty soon you done made up your own religion that has nothing to do with Islam. Do you know you're supposed to be upset and angry with yourself when you keep making your prayers late? 1 every blue moon, that changes things. But every prayer, Fajr was late, Dhuhr was late, Asr was late, and what's the worst is you didn't even make the prayer at all. So we have to check our own self. Is this Islam that I'm practicing? And not be happy about it. The Prophet Muhammad, the prayer and the peace be upon him, said, if you feel no shame, do whatever you like. Certain things should shame us. Allah has blessed us, and we don't want to pray. It should be a desire. It's like a debt. I'm behind on my bill. I got to pay my debt. We should feel obligated because we want to be a real Muslim. We want to be a real believer. We don't want to be a fake. We don't want to be artificial. And that's called a hypocrite. You say you're Muslim. What's in your life to show anybody without you saying you're a Muslim? What in your life shows anybody that he definitely is a Muslim? Or he got to be a Muslim? Or I'm suspicious, I think he's a Muslim. But you tell somebody you're a Muslim, they say, you a what? I'm Muslim. Man, please. That's what some people say, you a joke. And then sometimes the real Muslim is talking to the one that's playing with the religion, and the people who know him said, I didn't know he was a Muslim. Hey, isn't that something? The neighbor across the street, the neighbor next door, your co-worker, A person you go to school with says, I didn't know he was a Muslim. And you've been going to school with him since the 8th grade, and you in the 12th. How was you so good at keeping Islam away from them? And notice I haven't said anything about a turban or a kufi. That's not proving you a Muslim. We don't have to go to that extreme. But your action, your demeanor, your manners should suggest this man, this woman must be a Muslim. I'm in the street every day defending Islam because somebody has given the wrong example and the wrong impression. We call it coming behind cleaning up a mess, a big mess that somebody has made. We want to be the one that make a person want to come to the masjid, that want to go buy a Quran, that want to know more about Islam because they see something that they like, that they respect, and they admire. I close with this. One of the things that I have to clear up a lot when I'm on talk shows, whether it be a television, a radio, or interview. I mean, I'm still doing it. I'm surprised that I still have to do this. They introduce me as a black Muslim. Can you believe that? They introduce me as an American Muslim. They introduce me as an African American Muslim, and I have to correct them. And you shouldn't mind correcting somebody when it's your faith you're dealing with. It's not their faith, it's your faith. I'm not a black Muslim. I'm a Muslim that happens to be black. This term black Muslim, all of us should know, it didn't even come from us. Isn't that something? It didn't come from us. It came from our outsider, Dr. Harry C. Lincoln, who's deceased now. We didn't even come with the concept black Muslim. And it was used at a time to keep people from coming to Islam. You know black was already like a profanity. So you ain't just black, you're what? I'm black Muslim. Oh, hell, run for your life. We have to correct people. I'm not an African-American Muslim. I'm a Muslim African-American. And this also corrects Muslims all over the world. It might start with us. You're not an Egyptian Muslim. You're a Muslim that happens to be an Egyptian. You're not a Sudanese Muslim. You're a Muslim that happens to be Sudanese. You put up front what's the most important. And what is the most important? We Muslim. And I'm going to quote something that most of you haven't heard because you haven't heard it from us. See, if you want a story, you go to the person who the story is about. You don't let somebody else tell about a person and the person is there. I hear people trying to talk about Elijah Muhammad. And it hurts me when I hear this because they don't know the whole story. So I'm going to give you a few gems and pearls that this man gave us that is good right now to this day for any Muslim. We're talking about something that started in the 30s and he passed away in 75. He said, and he used to teach us sometimes through asking questions. And then turn around and gave the answer too. That's why I call him Dr. Elijah Muhammad. And he never went to medical school. He said, what is your own self? He said, your own self is a righteous Muslim. To appreciate that, you have to appreciate what he didn't say. He didn't say your own self is a black man. He didn't say your own self is African American. He didn't say your own self is an Asiatic. He didn't say your own self is the original man. He said your own self is a righteous Muslim. Then he asked the second question. Are there any Muslim other than righteous? He said, I beg your pardon, never heard of one. He said, when you pick up the Quran, before picking it up, wash your hands. Place it on the high shelf in the house where you got to reach up to it as a form of respect. He said, never carry it below your waist or your belt line. You ain't heard that, Dr. Elijah Muhammad. You heard he called himself the messenger of God, and he taught that God was a man. And that's the extension of your knowledge of Dr. Elijah Muhammad. Isn't that something? He gave us a lot of things that are so relevant now. Many brothers are in business. When I say brothers, I'm talking about Muslim African American. They're in business because of a concept, do for self. Simple concept, but it's an Islamic concept. Do for self. Know yourself. We coming out of February, which is so-called Black History Month. In Islam, we don't have a Black History Month. So if we Muslim African American, we shouldn't see that the way other African Americans see it. We Muslim. We got the Quran and the Sunnah. And they don't give you the history of that. Some of you, you're so young that you don't get this kind of teaching because you never listened to our story, but you done heard his story. And what is that? And that story is this, concerning African American that's still being omitted in so-called Black history. That one, at least, some say 2 out of every 5 slaves was a Muslim. Now, where do you see that taught in so-called Black history? That many of our ancestors was Muslim. Just like the historian cut out our history as though we don't have any history at all. And then somebody else come behind them and cut out our Islamic connection and make us feel like we never been connected to Muslim, we never been connected to Islam. And then you choose a month that has less days than any other month, February. And then we need to understand that Carter G. Woodson, when he first started this, it wasn't Black History Month. I'm going to take you back. It was called Negro History Week, and it was the second week in February every year. So we appreciate the progress, but we're looking forward to seeing a day that there's no more Black History Month. It's totally erased. It's just world history. When we studied the history of Islam, we studied the history of the world because Islam is everywhere. So we want to erase the need for that concept of Black history. And you'll be surprised, it's March 3rd, right? You'll be surprised, since March came in, there's no more talk about Black history. I mean, why would you be programmed like that? Hey, man, you can't talk about Black history. You know, it's March. You off key, man. No. So again, what makes us distinguish among our people? We Muslim African American, and that make all the difference in the world. Let us close with dua. Oh Allah, we seek protection in you from a heart that has no faith, from a tongue that is not straight, from a mind that does not remember you, from knowledge that is not useful, from a soul that is ungrateful, and from a prayer that goes unanswered. Ameen. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Let us make effort to make our line straight. That straight line is more important than having the space, whether it's there or not. Lining it up, lining our heart up. May Allah accept our salat, forgive us for any mistakes or error. And remember, we should pray as though this is our last prayer. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانهر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. Because these announcements for today. As always, please patronize our vendors inside and outside. We look forward to that. That's important to help us keep the business going here. Okay, also, Masjid Al-Mu'minun is pleased to announce the installation of Love Heals All mural, the mural, public mural that was designed by the community of Peoplestown, including folks from the Rick McDivitt Youth Center and the Emmaus House, and designed by local artist Alan London, will begin this spring. Funds for the project that will go directly to the materials and artists involved in the application of the mural will be donated in part by Masjid Al-Mu'minun and private sponsorship, but we also need the support of the community to make this project a success. As always, we have calendars, both current and souvenir characters. You can pick them up at the front desk or at the African American Islamic Institute table outside. The Arabic classes are on Mondays and Thursdays after Asr, in between Asr and Maghrib. Fajr Salat is every morning, as the Imam mentioned earlier. Fasting and breaking fast every Monday and Thursday, and everyone is welcome and invited. The fundraiser announcements also. Please support our fundraiser committee. The Masjid Fundraising Committee has products for sale in the front lobby and on our website, including the gingerbread drinks. Baseball caps are coming soon, and the calendars and mugs with our fundraiser logo. You can donate at Cash App, the $ at Al Mu'minun Fundraiser, and at the website. Also, we believers here at Masjid Al Mu'minun are starting a campaign to get a minimum of 10 believers to get a lifetime subscription to the Muslim Journal. We have 2 people so far, as far as I know, maybe more right now, but since last week. The cost is $1,000 for a lifetime subscription, $1,000 for a lifetime subscription. You will receive an online paper as well as a physical copy of the Muslim Journal. Let's support ourselves. If you're not able to pay, the whole amount at one time, we will have a layaway plan, which is $100 per month for 10 months. Don't let us lose our precious gift from Allah. That's that journal. See Dair Muhammad at the African American Islamic Institute table outside of Masjid Al Mu'minun. And please spread the word. Okay, no other changes other than that. We encourage the Muslims also to go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel so that you can receive these khutbahs online. You get a notice. If you're unable to come to Jummah, you can at least watch it online. So go ahead and sign up for that and subscribe to the channel and click the bell so that you get the notices. Other than that, assalamu alaikum.